up, but before we go, I want to ask one more question. I'm going to ask it of everybody. What advice would you give an applicant considering applying to the Langone part-time MBA program? Victoria, do you want to start?
Sure. Biggest piece of advice is be authentic. I think so many people try to portray someone else when they're applying, and at the end of the day, we I know that the admissions want to see who you specifically are, because you're trying to be someone else. Maybe that's not the type of person they want, and then what did you just apply for? And then secondly, because the application is holistic, really think about your work experience and your school, and all of your extracurriculars holistically. When I was applying, I saw that I didn't have a lot of quantitative classes on my undergraduate transcript. And even though I was working in marketing and it was relatively quantitative, I wanted to kind of supplement my application. So I took an online course through the University of California in statistics and submitted that grade along with my application, just to show I will be set up for success. I'm able to do a higher level math class and actually perform very well. And so I highly recommend, when you're applying, just think about it holistically and make sure you hit on all the important parts and fill in the holes with either work experience or illustrating work experience, or perhaps even taking a class.
Excellent. Thank you, Victoria. Lisa, any comments?
I would say when you feel like you're ready to submit your application, step back, share your application with two people. One person who knows you really well, and then one person who doesn't. The person who doesn't know you so well will be able to tell you if your application makes sense. Did you answer the questions? What type of story are you getting across? And what is their impression? Because they won't have other biases about you. Whereas the person who knows you really well is going to say, hey, Lisa, why didn't you mention this awesome achievement that you had this year? Or why are you not talking about X, Y, or Z piece of your story? They're going to be able to point out the things that you should be talking about that you haven't mentioned. Or they're going to be able to tell you that your essays don't really sound like you. You're not coming across authentic, like Victoria mentioned. It's just a nice way to get feedback from two different perspectives before you send it off to the admissions committee.
Excellent. I think that's great advice. The thing that I would say is actually sort of related to both of you guys' comments. Take the time to really think about yourself, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, where you want to go in the future. And, that can be something that, just sit down for a little while and sort of really give it some thought, do some research. Not just for your Langone application, but for your career in general. I think that's a useful thing to do, and to demonstrate some self-awareness and to help yourself figure things out. Because I think the more you know about yourself, the more you can make out of the Langone program, and the more you can take the right opportunities to build the right skills and to learn the things that you need to learn. So I think that the more you know about yourself and what you bring and what you still need to grow, the better off you're going to be. Langone is really great because you continue working, so you continue sort of learning about yourself in the professional context as you go through. But I think still it's the more you know about yourself, the better poised you are to take advantage.